Good evening, Wyoming, and thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening. Across the country, millions of American citizens are caught in the middle as the federal government shutdown enters day 20. Tomorrow, the first paychecks will be missed. However, with neither Republicans or Democrats budging, some Wyoming residents now feel the pinch. K2's Taylor Wirtz has more.
The federal government remains shut down for one reason, and one reason only, because Democrats will not fund border security.
We're entering day 20 of the government shutdown with no break in sight.
This is a crisis of the president's own making.
Despite President Trump and Democrats meeting to discuss a deal to reopen parts of the government, with Trump not backing down if an agreement is not reached.
I have the absolute right to declare a national emergency. I haven't done it yet. I may do it.
On Friday, many of the 800,000 federal workers will miss their paycheck. And now residents here in Wyoming are starting to feel the pinch. Local breweries like Backwards Distilling and Mills face challenges in trying to launch a new product. With the Alcohol, Tobacco Tax and Trade Bureau overseeing distilleries, wineries, and breweries effectively shut down.
We can't actually get that product to market until we get those approvals. And so right now, the TTB is not processing any new cola or formula applications.
While Backwards Distilling is not launching any new products at the moment, they do have products being checked by regulators waiting to be approved in a continually expanding line of products.
We are right now working to submit ours so that when the government opens, we'll be in the queue. We won't have, because I'm sure there'll be a backlog.
The National Historic Trails Interpretive Center has been closed since December 21st. The executive director for the center's foundation, Carrie Reese, is not a federal employee and can work from home. However, she says the shutdown has brought hard times for her colleagues at the center who work for the Bureau of Land Management, which is under the United States Department of the Interior.
It's okay for me to be working from home. It's not a huge disruption to my life. But, the other 6 full-time employees are sitting around wondering what's coming next and not collecting a paycheck. And I'm sure that's a burden for their families. I think the general sentiment is that we're missing visitors. And we're excited to reopen so that we can welcome visitors. It's a bummer that the gates are shut and that we know people drive there and see the gate and say, okay, I guess we aren't going to get to go in and see this.
With President Trump heading to the Texas border Thursday, a group of Republican lawmakers have been working to break the stalemate behind closed doors. But until then, residents impacted by the shutdown continue to wait. In Casper, Taylor Wirtz, K2 News.
Thank you, Taylor. Now to Fremont County, where an unidentified suspect is dead after exchanging gunfire with authorities this morning. K2's Bobby Fallett has the details.
I've been around guns and all my life or whatever, so I really knew that they were real gunshots, and I heard out of a dead sleep 2 volleys, at least 6 rounds apiece consecutively.
According to the Riverton Police Department, they have been working in conjunction with a federal agency on a convicted felon who was illegally possessing firearms and threatening law enforcement. Officers came into contact with the male subject today around 11 a.m. at Monroe and 1st Street. The suspect fired upon officers who returned fire. Some who live on the block, though, say it doesn't frighten them.
So, I mean, as long as it wasn't directly involving me, it doesn't freak me out whatsoever.
The suspect was transported to Sage West Hospital for injuries, where he later died from his injuries, and no officers were injured. Law enforcement acted fast to set up the perimeter around the scene.
I came out and realized that all the neighbors were out, that the barricades and all the officers were already around.
We will be bringing you updates on this as things develop. In Fremont County, Bobby Fallett, K2 News.
Thank you, Bobby. And new details this evening in that officer-involved shooting in Albany County in November. Today, a grand jury decided not to indict the corporal and the police officer involved. The jury, after the dash camera footage, saying that deadly force was justified. No further charges are being filed in the case. And the Natrona County Sheriff's Office is on the lookout for a man who escaped custody with help from the inside. Richard Fontaine left the Casper Re-Entry Center in December. and did not return. Fontaine was serving a sentence for burglary. A search warrant reports that he scaled a wall and then escaped in an SUV driven by a staff member at the re-entry center. The whereabouts of both are currently unknown. And in Laramie County, another escape. This time, an inmate at the Laramie County Detention Center fled volunteer work at the Cheyenne Animal Shelter. Randall Carr took off from the shelter. A witness claimed to see him get into a car with another person. About 20 minutes later, however, officials found Carr on the side of the road after a fight with the woman who allegedly picked him up.
Ms. Lawrence is facing charges of accessory after the fact to escape because Mr. Carr was in custody already for misdemeanors only. He was charged with a felony of escape. However, it's 1 to 3 years for his crime. Had it been a felony, it could have been up to 10 years.
And now to politics this evening in Cheyenne. Governor Mark Gordon discussed an array of changes coming to Wyoming during his State of the State address yesterday. KKTQ's Giovanni Pinto is in the Capitol with more on the proposed legislation.
In his State of the State address Wednesday, Governor Mark Gordon discussed the challenges Wyoming faces moving forward. Now, many of those items are reoccurring problems for the state. So just how does the administration plan to push Wyoming forward? In a press conference Thursday, Governor Gordon dove right in when discussing just what problems are plaguing Wyoming.
I think one of the things that we have to get right is exactly what our spending policy is.
And while some lawmakers believe the answer to the spending problem is taxes, Gordon is siding with Wyomingites, requesting research before taxation.
I'll look at every bill very carefully. I think it's important that we address spending first.
The new governor also questioned the efficiency of multiple agencies, citing too much of a crossover between offices like Endow and the Business Council, for example, and that possible specifications and even consolidation may be coming to state departments.
Having more specificity also means more accountability.
Now, in order to make all this progress, Gordon says he's made staffing changes, hiring only the most qualified people for the job. And in his office, that's looking quite diverse, with the majority of employees being women, with even a few Democrats sprinkled in there.
It's simply stating that what we're really looking for is experience, the ability to make good decisions.
So it sounds as though Governor Gordon won't be ditching the thought process of treasurer quite yet, as a lot of his plans look to take that fiscally conservative approach he used to regrow the state's economy. And it's looking like this viewpoint has lawmakers behind him.
It is my goal as Speaker of the House and to try to help to make him the most successful governor in our state's history. And when he's the most successful governor, then the state of Wyoming is going to be successful.
Reporting in the capital city, I'm Giovanni Pinto.
Thank you, Giovanni. And now to your wallet this evening. With the Macy's store in the Eastridge Mall closing soon in Casper, the graveyard of former flagship stores continues to grow. And consumers are asking, what's next? K2's Ryan Berger has the details.
The scene on the eastern side of the Eastridge Mall is beginning to look more desolate each day.
Some people say we're really doing good, and other people say, boy, we're really hurt. I think we're hurt.
And if you're losing your shopping places, does not look good to me.
Flagship stores like Sears and Kmart have recently gone dark in Casper. The former now completely closed for good.
Probably says something about the malls and how much they're charging for the businesses to be in them.
Macy's is the latest store to announce its closing. A liquidation sale to send the juggernaut off is now in its early stages.
There's stuff there that they had discounted that I needed, so I went ahead and bought them today.
Sometimes, I worried about the markup prices, and of course the discounts that, I'm not sure if they're discounts, so I do a comparison.
We reached out to the mall for information but received no comment. Just today, Macy's suffered a 17% dip in stock value after the company posted meager outlooks for profit, sales, and gross margin. So what killed the superstore? The early culprit seems to be online shopping, with services like Amazon Prime dominating the shopping landscape.
You got Amazon Prime, you got all these other, online stuff. So yeah, it kind of takes them out of business pretty quick.
They make it so easy for you to shop online that that's going to happen.
With less options to spend their money, many customers see a more local marketplace in their future.
more self-conscious of it now because I don't want to lose any more stores. But, you know, we're losing restaurants too, so I don't know.
In Casper, Ryan Berger, K2 News.
Well, Eric, these past few days have been absolutely gorgeous, but it looks like that's about to come to an end.
That's right, Sloan. I know you're anxious to take the top off of your Jeep.
Maybe not just yet.
You what?
Maybe not just yet. But
not yet. You've got to wait a few more months, but it's coming. But we've got to get past this. We have a new advisory on the map. So let's go to the maps. We have a winter weather advisory in effect for portions of Bighorn County, Washakie County, Hot Springs County, and Park County. That expires, what is today, the 10th? That expires tomorrow at 5 a.m. So if you live in those areas, allow yourself some extra time. So we take a look here at the highs for today. Had a high of 47 here in the Oil City, 30s, even 20s across central and western Wyoming. Douglas checking in with the double nickels, 55 degrees. Go to Torrington, had a temperature of 60, 56 was the high in the state capital. So we take a look at David Street right now. Not too bad out there. Take a look at this. We have cloudy skies at the airport. 32 degrees. The clouds are going to increase as we go on into the evening and overnight hours. It feels like 26. Humidity's at 78% with winds out of the west at 6 miles per hour. Other temperatures across the state ranging from 13 in Big Piney to 26 in Riverton, 35 in Douglas. If you want to see a 40, go to Sheridan, checking in with a temperature of 41 degrees. Lynx HD radar. Now, like I said at 6, the Riverton radar is down, so it's actually showing a clean sweep, but we are seeing some snow across portions of the state, so disregard this, as the radar is going to be down for about another 2 to 3 weeks, but we are seeing a little bit of snow and wintry mix across portions of Bighorn County on into Sheridan County. All that's thanks to this high pressure system that's slowly pushing away. We take a look at Advanced Track. You see the snow chances starting to increase, but coming up, say it ain't snow. Well, and some people won't say it. We'll find out who'll see what with Wyoming's most accurate forecast in a few minutes. Sloan, back.